For those who may not know, I know a lot of people out there already follow you, but for those who don't, who are you and what do you do?
I am a speaker, a writer. I guess I should have started with wife and mama.
Yeah.
Follower of Jesus, and have a past of going on reality TV, which was a crazy time in my life, going on The Bachelor.
Yes. I was about to say
that was a
specifically.
wild time.
Yes.
But yeah, now I get to just spend my time telling people about Jesus, which is fun.
Yes, The Bachelor was a long time ago, yet a lot of people probably still attach that long time ago thing that you did to you and probably kind of say this is why people know her, which might have been originally true. So for those who are interested about that time, how old were you? How did you get on The Bachelor? How'd that go?
So I was 23 years old, living in Alabama, and I was going through Bible college at the time, had just ended a relationship with a guy that I had been dating for 4 years, thought I was going to marry. God asked me to lay the relationship down, didn't understand why. I'm a part of this small group called Single Dating Engaged Married, based off of a book that Ben Stewart wrote. And I'm helping lead this small group, and I'm hanging out with these girls. I come over and they're all watching The Bachelor.
Yeah.
I immediately start judging them, Allie. I just knew it was reality TV. So I was like, okay, this is probably trash. And so immediately I'm judging and telling them to turn it off. They make a joke. You should go on the show. You would be great on the show. I'm like, I don't know anything about the show, but you will never catch me going on a show like this. I literally say that.
Oh my gosh.
They all start laughing in the corner. I don't know what they're laughing about. Months pass by. I'm working out at the gym. I get a call from a California number. I answer and they're like, is this Maddie Pruitt? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, hey, this is so-and-so from The Bachelor. We would love for you to come on our show. We got your application. I'm like, well, you have the wrong Maddie, because I'm in seminary and I didn't apply for your show. And they were like, no, we got your application and we really think you should consider it. And, I very much shrugged my shoulders, said, no, I would never do that. Didn't think much about it. Called my mom thinking she would laugh about it with me and think it was just so ridiculous. And she was like, well, I think we should pray about it. I think you should take it to God and just ask him why this came about and what to do with it. Because the first thing we always do is pray. And I was like, what? I wasn't expecting that. Mm-hmm. And so I was shook by her answer and challenged and just was like, okay, well, I'll take it to God, but I know God's going to say no. And over the course of a couple of months, ironically, I kept feeling a pull to say yes. I kept feeling a pull and a peace to take that step of obedience and go on reality TV. And I really had no idea what to expect. Like I said, I hadn't really watched an episode before, maybe one or two after I said yes to kind of prep for it. And went in with just an open mind, open hands, thinking I'm here to share the gospel with the girls on the show. I don't know why I'm here. I just am saying yes. And ended up going all the way to the end.
Wait, who applied for you?
Okay, so my friends. Oh yeah, let me backtrack there. So my friends who were watching the show, who were a part of my small group, applied me. That's why they were laughing in the corner. They applied me for the show without me knowing.
And they submitted a picture and everything.
They submitted the pictures, the full application.
So you didn't even do an in-person audition or interview. They just saw the picture, saw the application,
saw
and
the
said
picture,
yes.
saw the application. It was actually a long interview process. So in those months of praying, I was going through all the interviews. And then the top 100, they fly you to California. It's a very intense interview once you make it to California. And I just the whole time am praying Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I think you need to choose someone else. But I just kept feeling such a peace about it. And of course, right when I feel peace to say yes, all the friends that applied me are like, no, actually, I don't think you should go on the show. And I'm like, you applied me to go on the show. And I do feel a peace about it. And I just feel like I need to say yes. And I didn't know why I was saying yes. But now in looking back, I so see how the Lord has used it and even grown me so much in my faith and dependence in him. And it's truly crazy the opportunities and moments that I had, even behind the scenes, filming the show with producers and with the girls to get to just talk about Jesus, and sometimes not even talk about Jesus. They just would see me reading my Bible. They just would see me, praying and not gossiping and not dressing a certain way and not drinking and these things, and would be curious about it and just would ask questions. And it just was really cool in a culture of there being such compromise and competition to just say, hey, I know who I am in Christ, and I'm not here to, steal a rose from you or anything like that. I am here to, just because I feel like the Lord called me to go on the show. And, I think it was really cool how the Lord used that. And then when it aired, getting to take a stand for Jesus and for my purity was
Yeah, tell us more about that, because some people don't know what happened there with the fantasy suite.
Totally. So this was kind of the last few weeks. And if you don't know much about The Bachelor, there's this week called Fantasy Suite Weeks. And I just thought it was a crazy concept.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is wild.
Yeah.
That in order to see if we want to be together forever, we have to explore things physically and sexually, but you're going to do this with multiple people. Like that concept to me was really wild. And I just remember being so prayerful about it, because I was like, I know a lot of people are going to be watching this who aren't believers. And I don't want to come across judgmental at all, but I also know my values and my convictions that I'm unwilling to compromise in. And, there was just a lot going on. I've probably signed so many things that I'm not allowed to say, but just a lot happening behind the scenes, that there was definitely a setup going on of trying to make this a really big thing. When in my mind, it's just like, yeah, these are my convictions and I'm not gonna compromise. And essentially have a moment with The Bachelor and, just shared, hey, these are my values. I'm saving myself for marriage, and I'm going to be with someone who values purity, who values a relationship with Jesus, who sees the importance of this. And I'm not saying that has to be your story in the past, but in order to move forward, like, I do need to be with someone who does understand this and at least like understands my values behind this. And I just remember like explaining how it would be so hard for me to say yes to someone getting down on one knee after he had just said yes to all these other girls physically and intimately 3, 4, 5 days before. And so I just was explaining, to him, hey, I can't, I'm sorry. And he's just explaining to me, but, I love you, but there's also other people here, and, I got to explore this. And I'm like, you don't have to do anything. And I'm not going to stick around if you choose to do that. And then he ended up telling me he did choose to do that, because I was the last one-on-one of that week. And, it was a very confusing, weird time. I ended up breaking up with him like a couple of days before engagement, just out of praying through, Lord, I don't see this being someone that I could partner with in life forever. I don't see this being someone that we share the same beliefs and convictions. This was like, Lord, that was so hard, and I don't understand why I had to go through that, but I just trust you with it, and I trust you're going to use it, which he has, and if not for any other reason, then even to grow my own faith and dependence on him. And so I'm so grateful for it, but it definitely has led to my ability now to be able to talk about purity and talk about Jesus.